So what we're doing today, we're going to do a reading of the lore book, The Shipstealer. I have turned off notification sounds because people complained about the notification sounds last time. So I've turned those off. I'm going to try get through each chapter without talking to chat. So I'm going to ignore you for a little bit. When we get to the end of the chapter, we'll do a debrief. We'll do a summary of each chapter. If you're watching this over on YouTube, I'll actually make chapter titles so you can skip through to each chapter as well. You can also skip this introduction if you don't want to read it. If you haven't been in the Twitch streams and you don't know what's going on, essentially I'm in my final stage of finishing my PhD, which is about developing and evaluating computer coding clubs for kids with autism. I've got like 2 to 3 weeks to finish writing, and so I'm absolutely flat out. I haven't had time to even read all the lore with Beyond Light, so we're going to read it together, and then that's unfortunately going to be the only sort of YouTube content I can put up just for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll be back to normal. So if you want to join in live, come over to Twitch. If not, these will be uploaded to YouTube as well. 1. The Prisoner. In the depths of the prison of elders, Aramis is the Kell of no house. Outside, she is the firebrand of the House of Devils, the archfiend of Twilight Gap, the Shipstealer. But here, she has no house. Here, she reigns all on her own. In the arena where Elixni runts and leaderless Cabal challenge her, she rules with a broken arc spear for a scepter. It's the strongest weapon they'll give her, and she bends it to her will. No matter how many times the ether fat guards try to send her to her death in that arena, she triumphs. She kills their champions, watches their ether hiss from their masks, watches their gel leak out of their suits. She begins to cherish the smell of a good fight. Blood, sweat, ether, fear. She imagines that one day a banner will be emblazoned with a broken spear and an inverted crown. House of Anarchy, House of Riot, House of Aramis, House of Nothing. When there's only one Kell, there's no need for houses. Today she fights the Centurion of the Broken Red Legion. Money changes hands. His pauldrons are scuffed with the memory of battle, and he's been given a warhammer. He raises it to cheers and peacocks for the crowd. Aramis tosses her broken spear between her hands, waiting. 2 glowing pinpoint eyes focus on her as the Centurion turns. He swings the hammer at her, and she rolls out of the way. He swings it again, and she's behind him now and out of his sight line. Like a creature searching for a fly on its back, he struggles to find her. She jams the sparking head of the arc spear into a notch in his armor and uses the leverage to vault herself onto his shoulder. He rages like a near-side beast, all fury and stupidity, and nearly throws her from his shoulders. She tries to pull her spear free, but his giant hand knocks her senseless for a moment. The spear releases at the last minute. She grabs the top. Arc energy bites her palm, and she jams the tip of the blade under the edge of his helmet and into his neck. He screams. Before he falls, she leaps off and lands on her feet. The crowd never cheers for her. Instead, they whisper. No prison will hold Aramis Kell, they say. Aramis Kell is a devil greater than the devils themselves. Aramis Kell does not know how to lose. Okay. Morning, everyone. Welcome if you just joined. So this is now debrief time. Okay, debrief. Aramis. What happened in this chapter? Aramis is in the prison of elders. There's a crowd. Who's the crowd? There's a crowd watching. Right? How does that work? Prison of elders. House of Devils. She has no house. Very similar to Tannix. Getting a lot of Tannix vibes. She has no house. And she's fighting in the arena. Who do you think's watching? Just the reef? This has got to... When? What's the time? Oh, does Perixus say that near Sai is the Empire Hunt? This has got to be really early on, right? Like the Reef Wars style. House of Wolves. You reckon it's just before House of Wolves? So she's fighting in the arena. She wants to be Aramis Kell. If there's only one Kell, there's no need for houses. She kills the Centurion. Right. Wants to be Kell. I think that's about it. You reckon the Wolves... Why would they be cheering for the Centurion and not... I guess they wouldn't be cheering for... Okay, so like if the crowd's fallen, they're not really cheering for Aramis, right? Because she should be some sort of traitor, I guess. Aramis was captured during the Reef Wars. Right, yeah, I might need to look into that. 2. The Wolf. The neighboring cell holds a wolf. She ignores him at first. He's too greedy for her acknowledgement. Sometimes he reminds her of the needy dregs that followed her old Kell like carrion birds, squawking for attention and squabbling over his kills. What the Elixni have lost, more than anything else, is dignity. Eventually the wolf learns to intrigue her. He calls himself Praxis, and he has ideas, but he's young. He thinks every idea he conceives of is the first and the best of its kind. She suspects he's never had to report directly to a Kell. He likes to talk about machines, building them and bending them to his will. He has a mad idea about recapturing the great machine, binding it in arc wire and making it give them its power. He's been listening to the stories about Gaul. She lets him talk and she asks him questions. Every question is a whetstone. Every conversation is a test, and it will only take one failure to lose her interest. The great machine made the Elixni great, she says, until it left us. When it did, we were weaker than when it arrived. Why do you seek its touch again? To return us to that strength, he says. His voice is muffled through the wall between them, but the arrogance comes through clear. How can you build strength on a foundation of weakness, she asks. Each word is a needle. Each word should sting him with revelation. He remains silent. Did the great machine make the Elixni strong, or did it draw out the strength within us? She asks. Again, silence. She tilts her head back, looking at the dark ceiling of her cell. Reliance is the greatest weakness. Remember that. You are playing with a child stacking spheres. He's silent so long that she begins to wonder if he was worth her time. Then he says, I will create new spheres. She closes her eyes and smiles. Okay. Debrief time for chapter 2. Chapter 2 was called what? The Wolf. Debrief time for chapter 2. Actually, I'm gonna make these chapters as well so people can skip the debrief. All right, the Wolf. Praxis. Okay. Oh man, I always get confused with the Praxis is in Beyond Light, right? He's one of the lieutenants. Question mark. Or am I just getting my House of Wolves mixed up? Praxis is in Beyond Light. He rides on a shank. That's Tannix. That's Tannix. I can't remember from the Technocrat. Is he the Technocrat? Question mark. Technocrat Empire Hunt. Right. But on the Empire... Wait, so did he... Oh, the Empire Hunts are different, right? They're not necessarily the lieutenants from the main campaign. Because we killed all of them. And then the last remaining one was in the Deepstone Crypt, right? I actually have been playing the game. I actually haven't done many Empire Hunts, though. It's one of the things I want to work on, actually. I would really love to... Dude, if we get this done, I can play the fucking game today. Okay, hold on. Yes! I actually would like doing some Empire Hunts. I've got Cloud Strike, yes, as well. Yeah, but aren't the Empire Hunts just the lieutenants, like, redone? So he is in the campaign. That's what I thought. The Empire Hunts are just, like, replaying the lieutenants from the campaign. Right. So I was right. Okay. Whatever. This is the origin story of Aramis meeting Praxis locked up in the Prison of Elders. Aramis meets Praxis locked in the prison. Distinctive features of Praxis are what? He basically wants to recapture the Great Machine. Wants to recapture the Traveler. And she reckons he's never had a Kell before. She suspects he's never reported to a Kell because of the way he speaks. Question mark, always been locked up? Question mark, never reported to a Kell. Praxis wants to capture the Traveler. But Aramis inspires him to do better. Basically. He's young and arrogant. Yep. Yeah, I wonder if they are born in the prison. He's never had a Kell. Be unusual to not have a Kell, right? Don't know. Right. Thanks, Spartan. Okay, so... This is very much Aramis, like, recruiting and testing him. Every question is a whetstone. Every conversation is a test. It'll only take one to lose her interest. So Aramis is testing him to see if he's going to be right for the crew. Aramis is testing Praxis. Right? Through conversation. And rather than reclaiming the Traveler to make something new. Okay. Good. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, he's ex-Wolf. He either reported to Mara or Skolas. I guess Skolas wanted to be Kell, but wasn't quite there, was he? Oh, yeah, because it's House of Wolves, of course. The wolf. Holds a wolf. Why am I so dumb sometimes? Right. So, never reported to a Kell. Maybe betrayed Mara. How would he be House of Wolves and not have reported to a Kell? He must have been the in-between transition when... Must have been when Mara Self took over, right? When Mara Self took over, he would have been like in between, maybe. Oh, true. He could have like worked for someone but not reported to them. Yeah, maybe she means it as like he's never reported to leadership. He's never been high in the rank. Yeah, that makes more sense. He's a little baby. Never directly reported. Yeah, little Bubba. Little Bubba Praxis. Only reported to Dregs. Low rank. Ah, we got there. Sorry. We got there. Bubba Hobbitses. He was under someone else. Nice. Nice. All right, we got there. Woo! Okay. 3. The Traitor. On the day of the prison break, Aramis is nursing a gut wound. It's not fatal, or at least she doesn't think so. She won the match in the arena, but not before an arrogant captain drove a sword into her side. It cut through her devil robes and left a bloom of blood that reminds her of the water flowers on Riss. Athris loved water flowers. She's dozing when Varix arrives at her cell. Aramis? She opens her eyes and then narrows them immediately. Despite the wound, she stands. Too quick. She gets dizzy and steps toward the cell door. Traitor, she says in greeting. Varix flinches. He shakes his head, lowers his eyes. Even with the door between them, she can see his fear. It buoys her. There is change to come, he says quietly in Elixni, and then looks over his shoulder. His eyes dart back and forth, fearful, suspicious. He switches suddenly to the clumsily common language of the Guardians. Change Varix will make, yes. Change Varix will lead. But Varix too will need a leader. Aramis laughs. You wish to make me your prisoner, Kell? No. Varix cringes. Varix wishes. I do not care what you wish, Varix the loyal, she says. There are Elixni who change in the shadow of prison bars. They fall. They shrink. But Aramis has grown. She must show Varix that even with this steel between them, he is smaller. He is still a dreg, pretending to be a vandal. If there is justice in this world, one day I will dock your last 2 arms and leave you for dead. Something in Varix's eyes hardens. They share a tense silence. Finally, he says in a voice as cold as ether, do not say that Varix did not try to help. He leaves and Aramis settles herself again on the floor of her cell. Later that day, an alarm sounds. The warden projects a message in Varix's voice. The doors of a cell open, unprompted, as frenzied Elixni and Cabal charge through the prison, thirsting for freedom. So, Varix, what does Varix want? Varix, so this is all about, this is the day of the prison break. Okay. And Varix meets Aramis. Is change to come. Basically, Varix also wants to be Kell, right? Varix also wants to be Kell. And almost offers to team up. You wish to make me your prisoner, Kell? Varix wishes. He just doesn't quite say it. This is really nice. This is sending chills down your spine. This is really nice. There are Elixni who change in the shadow of prison bars. Oh, that's nice writing. They fall, they shrink, but Aramis has grown. She must show Varix that even with his steel between them, he is smaller. He is still a dreg pretending to be a vandal. Yeah, that's fucking dope. Do not say that Varix did not try to help. So, Varix wants to be Kell. Varix offered help to Aramis. Aramis rejected. And, oh yeah, the lack of ether. Yeah, they do have lack of ether, yep. Yeah, I agree, Robert. Why is Varix the only one who talks weird like that? Yeah, he does a different like sentence structure, right? I sort of wish they either applied that to Aramis. The whole Fallen speaking English language is a bit confusing for me. Insects like chittering. Right. Anything else important in this? Wait, so Aramis, she is previously House of Devils, correct? Her devil robes. Right, I think that's all that's important in here. Oh yeah, there's a prison break. So this is all pre-Forsaken, of course. All pre Prison of Elders break. There's a random chance line of dialogue from Spider where he wonders if Varix is still using that silly little accent. Oh, really? Okay. 4. The Visionary. In the first several months of her freedom, Aramis curses Mithrax the Forsaken. He is a wish to be Kell, a captured traitor, a four-armed dreg cringing before a false queen, playing pretend among the enemies of the Elixni. And worst of all, the most humiliating, he has beaten Aramis. She has failed to acquire the Siva weapon, failed to shame the Guardians, failed to ignite the fires of the House of Devils. Her failure haunts him. Now she sits in the bridge of a stolen ketch, straight-spined, staring at some distant point that she has long passed. One she can never return to. Atrax, youngest of her council, watches her from across the room. She closes the gap between them. "My Kell," she says. She's a voice like a child. Aramis is quiet for a beat longer than she needs to be. Finally, she says, "You're too young to remember the old house, what the devils were before." Atrax bows her head out of respect. "This failure has no sting for you." Aramis bites, bitter. Atrax keeps her head bowed. Then, slowly, she raises it. Her eyes dart over Aramis's face, searching. "I'm too young to remember," she agrees. "But my eyes are clear. I can see what the devils will be." Aramis opens her mouth to remind Atrax of her place, and then pauses. Something in her mind has unlocked. She stands to her full, towering height, stretches her second set of arms. "No," she says. Clarity has descended on her like a wrist rain shower. The devils are nothing. She begins to walk out of the room, purpose in her step, fire reigniting in her belly. The devils are dead. House of Anarchy, House of Ruin, House of Aramis. We must become something new. Okay, summary of Chapter 4, The Visionary. So they're free after the prison break. And this takes place after 0 hour, correct? Yeah, clarity as well. Hold on. Free after prison break. And the events of 0 hour and Mithrax, who claims that's the pulse rifle cold. The Siva pulse rifle is cold. Oh my god. 0 hour. Outbreak Prime, thank you. Right. Deceiver, Outbreak Prime. He's a wish to... Oh, Eris has got so much spunk. Oh, Outbreak Perfected. Yeah. Eris has got so much spunk. Spunk-a-hunk. So, and playing pretend among the enemies of the Elixir. Aramis beat, Mithrax beat her. Atrax, the youngest of the council. Okay. Oh, Mark. Right. My Kell, she has a voice like a child. Dude, I love this. Okay, these are the kind of sequences that I tell Gamma Trap about when I ask Gamma Trap to draw artwork. She stands to a full towering height, stretches her second set of arms. Like, that's the kind of stuff I tell Gamma Trap about. So when he draws his characters, they look like fucking dope bosses. The devils are nothing. Right, this is all about rejecting. This is all really about rejecting the fallen tradition, right? Which has been a theme with the fallen. This is not something super new. Trying to break free. I want to break free. Trying to break free of fallen tradition. The houses become something new. 5. The Nightmare. As she dissolves the old bonds of House of Devils, Aramis is haunted by shadowed dreams. In one, she relives Twilight Gap. She lunges, driving a sword into the belly of a Guardian soldier, grunting as they yell and crumple forward. Another Guardian rushes at her head on before she has time to yank the sword free, but she hears the sound of a shock rifle firing behind her and leans abruptly to the right as the shot flies by and hits the Guardian before her with full force. She looks back to see Critus, shimmering with the purple glow of the void as her servitors shield her. Ooh, that's cool. Critus tips her head in the acknowledgement of Aramis and turns to fire the rifle into another cluster of Guardians. Aramis rips her sword free and forges ahead. They are closing in on the city now. Guardians are falling all around her. They are so close. Fast, heavy footfalls come up behind her. Phylax, ferocious and bloodthirsty, shouts to Aramis as she attacks a towering, broad-shouldered Guardian. Aramis ducks and slides out the way as Phylax makes contact with the Guardian's head. Aramis slashes the beast across his side with her sword. He loses his balance and she kicks his hip, tipping him toward Phylax. In these days, Phylax almost always fights with her bare hands. She breaks his neck. Aramis pushes forward. They are so close. A ferocious laugh erupts to her right, and then the thundering blast of a scorch cannon. Tanix, a blur of whirling machinery, creates an explosion of earth and flesh and blood all around them. He keeps laughing. So close. But then, before her, a blinding flash of gold. She sees Elixir burst into flame and ash around her as a gun fires one shot after another. Pools of shining light are the only trace of the victims. The Guardian wielding the gun is like a tiny star. Another shot. Critus's servitor. Another. Critus herself. Aramis remembers losing, but she does not remember this. Does not remember seeing Firelax evaporate into blowing ash. Doesn't remember the shot that hits her in the chest, or the burning fire that explodes through her limbs, or her own scream. She wakes with a jolt of breathlessness. Breathless. Summary of the nightmare. Firelax... Critis and Firelax are in... I'm just going to keep asking you guys because I can't remember. These guys are in Beyond Light, right? But they die at Twilight Gap? Or is this a dream? This is a dream, but in one she relives Twilight Gap. So how does... I guess we might find out how Critis and Firelax come back to life. Does she die as well? She might this might be all dark. Critis... Firelax. I love this battle scene. Critis is the priestess. Firelax is the warrior. Thank you. I love this battle scene, mate. This is fucking cool as... We don't get enough of these kind of scenes. I really enjoy whoever has written this. So it's a dream sequence from Twilight Gap. And Critis, Firelax, and Tanyx are all there. And it looks like Critis gets golden gunned. Critis. Firelax sounds like she gets golden gun too. And Aramis. Query got hit by golden gun. And there's also a broad shouldered guardian. I see you guys all saying it's Shax. There's nothing really else to indicate it's Shax, right? It's just a little bit of an Easter egg or something. Yeah, I reckon the gunslinger is probably Anna Bray. Could be. Yeah, this might be the story of the whole pools of light reminds us of the what mission do we go in PvE go to the Twilight Gap. We went to the PvP map in a mission and we saw Anna Bray's pools of light from, was it No Time to Explain? Yeah. Pools of light shining. Anna Bray at Twilight Gap, leaving behind pools of light. No, I think Dragon's right. I think it was No Time to Explain in D1. D1? I can't remember. You had to go, I'm pretty sure it's No Time to Explain because you had to go back to Future War Cult and you found like Anna Bray's ring. You found items that were pulled through time. I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it was No Time to Explain. You found these like items that were pulled through time and you gave them to Lakshmi too or something like that. Herald. The dreams persist. They are old memories but twisted, battling a guardian in the prison of elders and falling before their light. Atheris banging on the walls of her sleeping pod, calling for the great machine. She can't sleep. Something in the dreams tells her to travel to Earth's moon, and she follows the sign. On the moon, she fights through corpse-stinking hive like swarms of flies. Their fetid stench is unbearable, worse than the carcass piles at the prison, worse than the battlefield of Twilight Gap. They eat and breathe death, and she resents their breath upon her. So she cuts through them like so much tall grass. A knight stalks her deep into the catacombs, staying on the edge of her hearing, matching her footsteps. She lets it make the first strike, and when it does, she cracks its exoskeleton armor with her sword. The thrill of the fight, hearing the knight howl as it meets its death, is almost comforting. A reprieve from her unsettling dreams. She's painted with hive blood as she continues her advance, and when she finally comes upon the ship, a familiar sight causes her to freeze in her tracks. She remembers this fleet. She remembers seeing them in the sky like black arrows. She remembers the space where the great machine was, and then the blank space where it wasn't. It was all a lesson in dependence, one that took many years to learn. This time, the black arrow speaks to her. She knows it's not Elixni. It's not one of the clumsy tongues of earth, nor the litting speech of the reef. It is something else. A whisper. But one that is so loud and somehow understood so perfectly. Stop waiting, it says. No one is coming for you. You must be your own salvation. She feels something in all four of her hands. A tingle, a buzz. It reminds her of the broken arc spear. She clenches and unclenches her fists, staring at the sleek surface of the ship. There's power here. Power that she can grasp. But not yet. A waking dream strikes her like lightning. She's transported. The bleak grey dust of the moon falls away, and she stands in a white plain of whipping ice and snow. It blinds her, chases her breath away. Then she's on the moon again, and the whispers are silent. She knows where she must go next. Oh, holy shit, that's a good entry. Oh, sorry. Summary of the Herald. Dun dun dun. Right. So she just sort of travels to the moon, correct? She just sort of has this feeling to go to the moon. Aramis travels to the moon. Okay. Discovers the pyramid ships. Gets a feel for stasis, to wield stasis, and then has a dream of Europa, and then plans to go to Europa next. Did she get there before or after Eris? Don't know. Oh, the whirlwind. Yeah, by the way, this is like, yeah, that's why I got excited. This is whirlwind information that we never previously saw. She remembers seeing them in the sky, like black arrows. So she saw the pyramid ships during the whirlwind as well. Oops. Aramis saw the pyramid ships during the whirlwind. And the traveler vanished. Little bitch. Yeah, it's weird that you must be your own salvation. Like, the pyramid ships tell Aramis that she must be her salvation. Whereas with Guardians, the darkness is our salvation. Yeah, I sort of found that a bit odd. Anything else I missed? There is power here, power that she can grasp. A waking dream. She has a dream of Europa. She must go to Europa next. Yeah, sure. It'll be uploaded on YouTube tomorrow, mate. I'll just edit out some of the takes and it'll be up there for you to watch with the chapters as well. How can you be on PhD when you so analphabet? Hey, Bode. I don't know what you mean, mate. No problem, photo. You can't read. You can't read. I'm trying. How can PhD when can't English? I hate to break it to you. A PhD is not a test of intelligence or ability to read fictional stories on Twitch. A PhD is about making an impact in a community using research and being able to explain the significance of that impact to others, which I'm actually pretty good at. What do you mean fictional? Yeah. Here's a question. What's the point in writing if nobody reads it? Chapter 7. The Scribe. Aramis and Varix stand in the shadow of a half-constructed city. Her people have salvaged bits and pieces from the Elixni hideouts across the system and lashed them to the ruins of a Golden Age facility, building something new from something old. It's Elixni flesh on the bones of humanity's failure, nestled in the icy tundra of Europa. She watches Varix's face as he looks up. There is something familiar there, an awe that she remembers from a long time ago. It will be a new risk, she says, raising her eyes to the scaffolding before them. A new home for our people. No more running, no more living on the outskirts. Varix looks away finally to meet Aramis's eyes. What of the devils? He speaks Elixni. It surprises her. Old names, she says, dismissive. Leave the old names and the old ways in the past. Just as she remembers, Varix doesn't let his awe stand in the way of practicality. His gaze has turned appraising. And why choose this place? Why choose this frozen moon? I saw it in a dream. She can feel his skepticism. She doesn't blame him. Actually, since the prison break, he's been hiding somewhere. Some forgotten corner of the system, waiting for a judgment to come. He gifted his people with freedom and then built himself a cell of isolation. He can't see beyond what he thinks he knows. And why did you call for me? He asks. There is a hardness in his voice. After everything, we are not allies, Aramis. Old ways, she says again. If the Elixni are to survive, we need to abandon all memory of division. We will be known and remembered as something new. Varix follows her gaze. Now his voice has softened. And why me? Aramis turns to face him fully now. He fears her still. She sees it in the hunch of his shoulders, the way he turns his face to the side, as if looking at her head on will hurt his eyes. In the new world, she says, I will need a scribe. So, this one is about what? I don't understand how this fits into the Beyond Light campaign, because Aramis and VIII are here together in Riss. Correct? You reckon VIII is on board until she starts huffing the darkness crack pipe? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so this is Riss Reborn. So this is them building... This is them building the... the facility on Europa. The fallen... Like, Riss Reborn. Right? A new home for our people. And she's built it here because she knows that there's stasis here, but she hasn't claimed it yet. She saw it in a dream.
Time to snort some mellow R-E-E-E-E.
Hey, thank you, Dragon. Thanks for 4 months, mate. So... Aramis and VIII on Europa together. Tighter. Lol. Aramis and wants VIII to be the scribe. Alright. And what else? They're building Riss Reborn. New homeworld. New homeworld for the Fallen. It doesn't really explain why they're chummy. Because didn't she want to rip his arms off in the Prison of Elders? Didn't she want to rip his arms off? Didn't she say, I'll rip your fucking arms off next time I see ya? He's like, we're not allies. But he has come in peace. Oh, it sort of explains. He sort of just disappeared, right? He's been hiding somewhere, some forgotten corner of the system, waiting for judgment to come. Right, so... And VIII has been hiding since the prison break. Sounds like he took the opportunity of the war to spring all his people and then went and chilled out. Yeah. It's like you go do heaps of work and you're like, oh, I'm pretty tired now. I'll just have a bit of a nap. You go get all your work done. You're like, hey, I'm a bit tired now. I might have a bit of a nap. And then you don't do anything else. Sounds like me yesterday. I was so tired yesterday. I slept so much yesterday from like when we finished the podcast. I like was just, I said to everyone, oh, let's do a raid. Let's do a Europa raid. Let's do a Deep Stone Crypt raid. And then I just went to bed from like 2 p.m. Work for 5 minutes, nap for an hour. VIII is the last remaining member of House Judgment. She needs Judgment to properly declare herself their true leader. Well, does she? Because she doesn't really want to embrace the fallen traditions anymore. Like she wants to almost break free of the whole house system. Even though she calls herself Aramis Kell, she doesn't. She wants to abolish sort of the housing. But VIII does probably carry weight because of the prison break, I guess. Maybe? Don't know. Alright. Chapter 8. The Council. Old friend. There's a bloody grin in Phylak's voice as she clasps Aramis's hand and pulls her close to her chest. Critis stands behind Phylak's, tall and ethereal. They're exactly as Aramis remembers them. Phylak's chuckles. I always said no prison will hold her. Aramis laughs, easy and familiar. It's as if nothing has changed. She's transported back to her House Devil's days. The days of assignments in the darkest, grimmest parts of the old stomping grounds, the Cosmodrome, with no one but these two for company. They laid waste to members of encroaching houses, razed human settlements to the ground, dreamed about the day they could challenge and strike down their own Kell to take up the mantle for themselves. But Critus looks beyond Eramis, not at her. And soon, Phylax does the same. Her eyes narrow. She lurches forward, past Eramis, to grab Varix up by his neck. Traitor Dreg, Phylax hisses and spits. Cringing little... Varix scrambles and kicks like a creature in a trap. Phylax, he grasps. Praxis and Atrax stand to the side, waiting to meet the veterans of the old house. They watch without concern, though Praxis looks pleased. They do not intervene. Phylax tightens her fist. Let him go, Eramis says. Phylax looks at Eramis and then drops Varix. She says nothing, but Eramis can feel her disapproval. Critus's too. Doubt creeps into their minds. His crimes undeniable, Eramis says, dismissive. She doesn't look at Varix, but hears his tortured breathing as he scrambles back away from Phylax. But he's all that remains of House Judgment. You've no special love for scribes, Critus says skeptically. Eramis inclines her head. No, but a scribe who can draw the ear of the Reef Elixni. Phylax grunts in understanding, but still looks unimpressed. She returns to Critus's side. Critus, on the other hand, looks pleased. Clever, she says. Before they can question her further, Eramis changes the subject. But I didn't call you here for politics. She gestures with one of her secondary arms. Come, let me show you what we've built. Okay, summary of Chapter 8, The Council. So, Phylax and Critus are now alive. Were they not killed at Twilight Gap? Or was that her just dreaming that everyone died? Maybe it'll be explained later. It reveals the reason to keep Varix. Wants to reunite the House of Reef. Not really House of Reef. Reef Elixni. So do you reckon that really was just a nightmare? It didn't actually happen. It wasn't... I know it was a dream, but the accuracy of the dream. It was just a nightmare. Because I guess... it stated to be altered. It was an altered nightmare. Right. Okay, so they weren't actually dead. So the team is back together. Everyone's here. Praxis, Atrax, Phylax, and Critus. And they basically want to beat up Varix. And Varix is like, yo, dog, don't do it. And she's keeping him around to... yeah, she wants... and she's showing the team... Riss Reborn. Is it double S or double I? Double I think. Okay. Anything else important from this paragraph? Yeah, cool. The Council. Nice. Is it Reese, not Riss? Reese. I was thinking of how they say it. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember how they say it in the game. Reese Reborn. It's our books. The Kell of Darkness. Pretty close to the end now. Pretty close to the end. Okay. Reese, like from Malcolm in the Middle. I forgot about that. Number 9. The Kell of Darkness. When the obsidian ship descends on Europa, Aramis is prepared. Her council by her side, Varix, Phylax, Critus, Praxis, and Atrax. She greets its arrival with bated breath. The foreign whispers return. This time they say, do not wait to be chosen. Choose for yourself. Choose salvation. Aramis boards the ship and chooses strength. It is in this moment, as she holds this cold and ancient power in her hands, that House Salvation is born. Right. She has the council. And this obsidian ship, is that the, what's that Transformer pyramid ship? Do you think that's the same thing? Or do you think it's just a normal pyramid ship? What's the thing that we get our stasis powers? It's called... Comes down like a transformer. Ziggurat. Ziggurat. Do you think this is talking about a ziggurat, or do you think this is just talking about just a normal pyramid ship? A ziggurat. The crux. Either way, she claims stasis, right? Claims the darkness. Ziggurat. You did flawless raid yesterday. Nice work, Super Fossil. Half the chat's just talking about ziggurat, ziggurat, ziggurat. Ziggurat! Oh, God. Calm down. Claims of darkness. Okay, stasis. Exo Stranger says it. I'm trying to protect him from YouTube comments. Oh, I'm not going to probably edit these parts. So you're probably inflaming them. I'm going to edit the chapters. Okay, the council with the claims of darkness, stasis, blah, blah, blah. Clan night raid? Maybe Super Fossil. I'm gonna see how long this takes to get done and see what Danny's doing after this, and we'll go from there. I do want to actually do a raid. I don't know if we'll do it today. We'll see how long this takes to get done. So we're almost finished. It's been a long time since I've done a raid on stream. Apart from, yeah, I wanna jump into Destiny and have a quick look. Anyway, we'll get through this. X, the Warrior. I am Phylax.
No,
Once...
M8.
Hey, Newt. Thanks for 7 months. I am Phylax, once warrior of House Devils, once child of home Reese. I speak now to Elixni, still scattered. Listen close. There is no repeating. Death to House Devils. Ashes to home Reese. I cast off these useless things and pledge my life here to Reese Reborn, to Eramis and a house salvation. I fought many battles and found no warrior above the knife will of Eramis Kell. Together we sieged the walls of the Earth City with weapons in every claw. Side by side we spilled life force across the system. No catch was out of her reach. No death could seize her. Even enchained by the wretched Reefborn, she grew only stronger in mind and body. Chelchis, Skullus, Axis, resurrect them all and watch her reduce them to dregs. Her new claim to power is beyond any they wielded, beyond any our people ever knew. And she will grant it to all who unite under her banner. Even now, as lieutenant, I share in that with her, side by side. Our bodies thrum with the same ice-cold energy. Energy to drag that great machine from the sky and fortify our new city with its metal hide. Energy to defeat the wretched of this system and feed our children with a battle bounty. Energy to reign beyond 1,000 lifetimes. All you now hear. I am Phylax, the warrior of darkness. Life to Reese Reborn. Victory to the Kell of Darkness. Glory to the house salvation. Thank you, Newt. Appreciate you, mate. Thanks for joining. I've got notifications turned off at the moment. So this is just Phylax pledging, right? To... Wait, so is Reese the original home planet? I never really put that together. Ashes to home Reese. This is Reese Reborn. Hey, Ruby. This is just resurrect them all and watch her reduce them to dregs. Oh, these are all the previous. Oh yeah, these are all the previous Kells. Chelchis, Skullus, Axis. They turn into the force that destroyed the civilization. Yeah, Astral. Oh, I mean, we did the same thing though, right? With the power from the pyramid ships. Right. So I feel like this summary is really just Phylax pledging allegiance to Eramis Kell. Oh, we're almost finished. The Entry 11. The Technocrat. This is Praxis, the Technocrat speaking from Reese Reborn. It has become evident that, even as our numbers grow, many Elixni have yet to accept our Kell's invitation to take part in the long-awaited progress of our people. Thus, it falls on me to make an argument I did not think I would have to make. No, that is false. I did anticipate some degree of cowardice, abstinency, stupidity, whatever you might call it, but only in the beginning, when we lacked evidence for our endeavor. At this late stage, however, when Aramis Kell succeeds where all others failed, alas, I might find it hard to believe if I could not see the empty spaces in our half-filled capital, or heard the whispers of doubt sown by the weakling of House Light. Yes, even from this moon of some distance, I can tap into your transmission, Misrax. Others may call you forsaken, but I dub you foolish, clinging still to that moon-sized obsolescence. Do you forget the lesson we teach our children? A ketch laden with the unnecessary will never fly. As for those of you following in his example, placing your faith in peace with our enemies, well, what good are the words of a scientist if you ignore what is before your own eyes? I can only encourage you to truly think. What proofs have your alleged allies offered of their loyalty, their willingness to share equally with you? How have you truly benefited from them? If you answer, none yet, or I don't know, I admire your patience. For myself, for my Kell, for all of us of House Salvation, the time has grown too long, and the failures too many to invest in such flimsy experiment. The Elixir must update our approach if we are ever to rise. Either join us as we march towards progress, or be swept aside with the vestigialities. Got him. Okay, summary. Technocrat, Praxis. This is a message, really. Is this a message they transmitted to everyone, right? This seems like it was enjoying the stream. Be sure to smash a shoey and have a snag. Seems like this was like sent out to all the Elixir. Yeah, many Elixir have not accepted the Kell's invitation to take part in the long-awaited progress of our people. Right. Okay, I think this is just sort of a message from Praxis, really. Message from Praxis to all Elixir that have not joined Aramis so far. Join or be destroyed, really. Or be swept aside. Like a recruitment message. Alright. I think we've got 3 more chapters left. 12, 13, 14. Almost there. Whole lore book. Nice. 12. The Priestess. Elixir, Critus, the Priestess, cries out to you across the abyss. As we speak, the Once-Shipstealer brings the promise of our people to pass. Soon we will rise to true prominence, united under one banner and one Kell, with no gods but ourselves. For who withstood the whirlwind? Who pieced together catches and armories out of ruins and scraps? Who roamed the vast expanses for generations, subsisting on drips of ether and facing endless battle? Who survived? We did. Not the so-called great machine, nor their idols, Not the so-called great machine, nor the idols we crafted in its image. The XIII survived. So why do we pine still for a light that shines not on us? Why do we kneel to the servitors that we created? Because we are afraid. Because for all that we've suffered, for how long we've traveled, we clung tight to the belief that we were meant for a higher existence, meant to evolve beyond our current forms. If only the whirlwind hadn't cut off our people from godliness too soon. This I believe as well. I mourn the death of our collective potential in our rituals and rites. I felt the acid burn of despair in my body as I received succor from our prime servitor. Dreamt of the day I turned my weeping eyes up to the sky and found it empty of salvation. I was blind, but Aramis removed the light from my eyes. Now I see. So I entreat you, children of Reese. Come receive clarity for yourselves. Witness the greatness of the house salvation and the Kell who leads it. Rejoice, for she who brought our servitors low where they belong will do the same to the great machine. The light holds nothing for us now. Long we have traveled in darkness. Now is our time to embrace it. So, okay. Summary of the priestess. Another sort of support entry, really. Another sort of support entry for Aramis. Anything real different about this? I just think it's the support message for Aramis. Okay. United. All right. 1, 2. We've got 2 more entries left. Oh, it's literally like 2.5 pages. 1.5 pages. Easy. Nice. 13. The Wildcard. I am XIII The Wildcard, and I have been charged by my Kell to speak to the youth of the XIII. Those who, like me, have never known a life that wasn't wandering. Who have no memories of Reese, only tales of glorious cities under glowing green skies passed down from our elders. The very same ones who moan that we have never felt true peace, which can only be found under the shade of the great machine. Well, I, for one, am glad for it. I could not be more grateful. The whirlwind came to slice the ties before. I was entangled too. They told us it was a destruction that visited that day. But what if it was salvation? They called us unlucky to have been born in the dark of deep space, but we were born free. They say we lack the light to truly see, but when we first opened our eyes, there was nothing to block our view of the vastness of the universe. So why do we let the nostalgia blind point the way? Why do we carry their dead dreams? They have turned their backs on the future, I say. Let them. All the easier to strike them down and finish the cleansing started long ago. Then you can join us on Reese Reborn. Yo, holy shit. I did see you guys coming in. I just wanted to finish that lore entry. We've got a 3 banging raid. It's a raid orgy in here. AC, Terra, and Soto. Thank you for the raids. AC, how are you guys? A fucking tag team back again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for those raids, guys. Hope you had a good stream. How's it been going? We had Terra and Soto on the podcast for World's First. They smashed through Deepstone Crypt. And Acey's always hanging around saying hi, so thanks again, mate. What are you guys up to? We actually... Oh my god, Super Fossil. I don't have notifications turned on at the moment. Super Fossil gifting 10. Jeez Louise. Ink Bubba giving 5. We are doing a reading of the lore book. We're actually... You've just come in the final entry. Big Poggers. So, welcome. I have been streaming every day and playing Destiny, but I'm very busy at the moment and I haven't had time to read all the lore videos or make lore videos, read all the lore entries or make lore videos for YouTube. So we're sort of doing a bit of both at the moment. We're reading the new lore book, The Once-Shipstealer, and making a YouTube video at the same time. Doing some you're doing some speedruns. Nice. Nice. I was thinking about doing a Deep Stone Crypt raid after this, actually. I've only done it once. I see you're making YouTube content. Can I help with that? So this will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, Mayellen Games. If you would like to rewatch it and see what it's all about. It's pretty much the origin story of Eramis. Release the Halo video, you coward. Actually, we can watch that after this. We can watch the Halo cut. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched the edits yet. How busy have you been? I've been very busy. Halo vid is Matt's 15th wish. Mate, I've been so busy. So busy. Busy and stressed. You guys can tell that it's not fun when I stream when I'm stressed. You got to be in the right mood. Today's been really good though. Today's been chill. Today's been chill. Rewatch it tomorrow and see myself type messages. Today's been this super chill. Getting a bit hungry. Hold on a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. So sleepy. Tax series. How you going? I play Destiny more. Love the lore. Got sad when the comic became canon. The game event non-canon. Do you ever think they're like do a lore video like Platinum World? Or do you mean like a full summary video? It is hard, Tax. Not right now. I think next year when I've got more time, it's definitely a potential. Definitely a potential to welcome people in with a, I don't know, some sort of playlist, some sort of summary. Waffle, appreciate it. Hold on. Is anyone feeling stressed? Guys, we just do a quick meditation. Ready? This is gonna make you feel better. No, I'm not doing the hype train. No, I'm not. I'm actually not doing the hype train. Just gonna sit here, watch the dog for a bit. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that to you. Oh, nice tax series. Yeah, actually, I do want to do that. I want to do Lore for Dummies. That's a bit more relaxed. I want to do Lore for Dummies. It's a bit like how I explain lore to Log. No, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I know, you guys want the... I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to play Hype Train right now. Destroy my eardrums. Okay. Give the people what they want. We've literally got the last lore card. We'll get through it. Your ship can't handle the hype, baby. Alright, last entry. And we've done the full reading in 1 hour, 48 minutes. Get that on your speed runs! AC and Soto and Terra. Fucking speed running Deep Stone Crypt like a bunch of plebs. Why don't you speed run some lore entries? Oh, I've missed you. Oh, I've missed Twitch smiling. Hey, Megaton. Is speedrun hand holding from chat there? Alright. 14. The Scarred. Ha! So the Kell of Winter seeks the aid of Tannix. The Scarred. How formal. Wasn't long ago you called me self-serving scum and spat at my bannerless armor. I might have ripped each and every one of your arms from you then, and torn off your legs for good measure. But I sensed one day you'd come begging for my services. Lucky I'm such a vulgar mercenary after all, eh? It works in your favor now that I hold payment above pride. Payment not just in glimmer, in blood and battle too. No one Kell, no one house has been able to slake my thirst. No one job either. Though a breakout of the prison of elders might come close. But for XIII, you ask me to pass over far greater warriors for that impotent Archon? You think he will serve you better than Picus, the Disavowed, than Pierces, Palace Bane, than Calzar, the Drechthus? You chose XIII over the Shipstealer, Eramis, who led the charge at the final attempt, who hurled herself at the wretched light bearers who moved so quickly. I would have sworn she had 8 arms. When your pathetic winter ones followed in her footsteps, they had to wade through the blood of life force she left in her wake. And still, you wonder why I refused my house pledge. You could conquer the system, but you'd rather adhere to these arbitrary customs. XIII belongs to winter, Eramis does not. Twice my usual price. The fee is for my restraint. It will take what little I have to free XIII over the fiercest of Elixir fighters. I'm fucking confused as hell. What's this about? This is Tannix speaking, the Archon Priest in Destiny 1, right? This is Tannix speaking about being recruited to free the Archon Priest. And he's just basically saying, why not free Eramis? He's got a bit of a thing with old Eramis. You choose XIII over the Shipstealer, Eramis, who led the charge at the final attempt. You hurled herself the wretched Lightbearers. So he's sort of got a thing for Eramis, right? XIII belongs to winter, Eramis does not. Twice my usual price. The fee is for my restraint. Right, so Tannix sort of wants to free, Tannix wants to free Eramis over XIII. Elixir boner. Oh, true. He had no house either. Tannix and Eramis have no house. This is sort of like full circle because Aramis has no house in the very beginning, right? Oh, nice writing. But here she has no house. Entry 1. Boom. Final entry. Tanix has no house. Nice. Okay, that's a bit of a thing they have in common. Right, Super Fossil. Nothing on Tanix also was XO. Yeah, I imagine it was more Clovis Bray stuff. Interesting. All right, well, I mean, that was going to be my title for this video. But now I don't know what to say because I was hoping this was going to have a little bit. I guess we could say, I guess this is the only real bit of lore that we have, right? Is that Aramis is breaking free of fallen tradition, started off without a house. Tanix respects her a lot, and that's about it. They have this mutual respect between them. And that previously he wanted to free Aramis rather than these other plebs. He was just a body, yeah.